What up, guys? This is Wire Guitars, back again with another replay analysis. This time we're going to be looking at Offlane Doom. Every game of Dota does begin in the drafting stage, but I'll just be candid with you guys. The reason I picked Doom this game was because Veno was picked first phase, and I just wanted a nice, solid hero that I knew how to play that will always be relevant throughout the game, no matter what the enemy hero drafts. And that hero for me was Doom. Doom's kind of busted right now anyways, but in all seriousness, all I saw was Veno and Dazzle. Or rather, sorry, it was Veno and Snapfire were the only two heroes that I saw get picked first phase, and Veno was the hero that I wanted to pick. So given the fact that these two heroes were picked, I know that through my experience playing Veno and playing against a lot of Dooms this patch, because Doom's very popular, like I mentioned, or he's pretty busted is what I mentioned, and being busted means that you're probably pretty popular because people want to abuse you. I know that as somebody who's been picking Veno a lot recently, it's really annoying to get doomed by Doom, because then you can't cast your spells. So I just picked Doom here. I'm pretty good on Doom anyway, so it was sort of a comfort pick, sort of a, fuck it, whatever kind of pick. And so yeah, we're playing Doom here. Starting items, I go Ring of Protection. I know that I'm against a Jugg, or at least I'm 95% sure that I'm against a Jugg, unless they do some weird shit like lane swapping. And against Jugg, there's kind of like two-ish item builds that you can go. I say two-ish. You can try to start Boots and just outmaneuver his spin, or you can do what I'm doing, which is trying to contest the lane through buying an item like Ring of Protection, Quelling Blade, a good amount of regen, Fairy Fire, which will just give you extra base damage against creeps, so you can actually last hit them, extra armor against his right clicks, because what Jugg wants to do, generally speaking, how he harasses you down is through his crit. He's just going to right click you a bunch, and sometimes he's going to crit, and it's just going to feel really unfair, and he's going to do a bunch of damage to you. So one way you can mitigate that is by getting bonus armor. Doom has 0 base armor, or he used to have 0 base armor, now he has 1 base armor. It's 1.8, but 1.8 base armor still ain't shit against somebody who's just going to be right clicking you 3, 4, 5 times before you actually get out of his range. So getting an item that gives you armor can be nice against that, to leverage your HP, make it more effective versus his harass. Here, I don't know what Jugg's doing. I don't know if he's AFK or what. He's just sitting here. Yeah, he's AFK, he's not contesting the rune. So we just get a free bounty rune, and this is that classic 5k, baby. Just get a free bounty rune, get 2 free bounty runes, so we get three runes in total. And we're just gonna get a solid block. I already talked about my item builds, I already talked about my item decisions. Jakiro on lane. Might slow this down a little bit here just so we can analyze the first creep wave. First thing I do is walk up after doing a creep aggro trip to pull the creeps on my range creep. First thing I do is devour the range creep. The reason I do this is twofold. First, I want the lane equilibrium to be upset. And because they snipe our range creep, because I did the little creep aggro trick, it doesn't actually end up making that much of a difference. I should actually probably conceptualize that more, is that one of the reasons you do the creep aggro trick is to kill your range creep first so the lane can push, and also make the creeps easier for you to last hit. And by doing this, I actually keep the lane even. So maybe I shouldn't do what I did. Maybe I should eat a melee creep instead. But what I was trying to do here was offset the creep equilibrium, because I don't want the equilibrium of the wave to be near their tower. Generally speaking, you never want that to be the case as an offlaner, but especially as Doom, who's rather poor as a laner, especially levels 1, 2, you have a really, really rough time approaching the creep wave. So you want to fuck with the creep wave equilibrium as much as you possibly can. So that was the idea behind the play. Perhaps some poor execution. Jakiro ends up walking up within melee range to hit a dual breath, so he gets spun down by Jugg. So we're not starting off this lane particularly solidly, but we're gonna pull it together here as I'm able to pull these 2 creeps back. I think I miss. No, I stay in EXP range of that range creep as it gets denied, so at least I get some experience out of it. And we're going to get these 2 creeps secured, which will get me to my boots. I generally go boots first against Jugg, because Jugg is, what is Jugg trying to do in lane, right? He's trying to harass you down. All of his harassment is either, all of his harassment comes at melee range. And what I mean by that is, either he's Blade Furying you down, and what he's doing there is just running at you with Blade Fury active, and hoping that you're in range. And then the second thing that he's trying to do is right click you down, right? And boots are good against that. Are good against both situations there. Ring of Protection is super good against one of those things, and that's why I started it. Ring of Protection isn't really all that good Boots, one of the reasons why I didn't start Boots, you can start Boots against Jugg, but one of the reasons I didn't is because it's not so good against his harass, his right click harass. It's just mostly good against that Blade Fury situation that can happen. So when you're getting right-clicked down by Jugg and he's critting you and shit like that, like, you'd much rather have items like Ring of Protection that are making you bulkier while you're in the lane, because his right-clicks are free, right? Like, and you need to be in the lane getting the creeps. So you can't exactly just sit there and let him right-click you a bunch without some form of an answer. And like, I guess the Ring of Protection is my answer to that. Like, I want to get a little bit tankier so that his right clicks aren't going to hurt me that much. But eventually he is going to want to just level Blade Fury at level 3 for the second point, which makes it do 110 damage per second. And at that point, you just need something to get out of the range of Blade Fury. And Boots first is generally your option in that regard. So that's why I'm getting Boots first item here. Generally speaking, getting Boots first item isn't that bad as Doom anyways, but it's, again, like, it's especially necessary here in this lane versus Jugg. And you'll see I even queued up a Windlace as well. Get some creeps, miss some creeps, feels bad, man. I'm gonna need some extra regen in the form of like tangos or a salve here, I predict, because like, we're running out of tangos here. But this Jakiro did a really good job of harassing down the Snapfire, and it's able to condition us a kill, or condition a kill for us here. I don't know why she just stood there and kind of stayed in range of Scorched Earth. Then she got hit by Jakiro's E, and then she was dodging the dual breath, and while she was dodging that, I leveled up to level 3. And I usually never level an Infernal Blade in lane, but in this lane, I just was like, you know what, my other two abilities on cooldown, Devour, of course, wouldn't even help me get the kill anyways, so fuck it, let's just get Infernal Blade and secure that kill there. It probably wasn't even necessary, because Infernal Blade doesn't actually increase your base damage, and the hit alone from Infernal Blade was enough to kill her, which leads me to believe that she would have just died from a regular right click, but it's sort of the thought that counts. I wasn't sure of that. I didn't click on her and do the math immediately if the calculations, like, if I swing high on my auto attack damage, maybe I can kill her. My auto attack variant has this much of a chance. I was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to secure the kill, level Infernal Blade here, secure the leveling Infernal Blade here secures the kill, and getting this kill here would be really nice. So that's the play that I go for. And so now we just start our Doom at level 3 with all of our abilities skilled to 1 point, which is not entirely ideal, but again, given the circumstances, I wouldn't trade it for the alternative. And now we're going to go make the Devour play. Eventually, at some point throughout the lane, you want to do this. You want to get a neutral creep. You don't just want to exclusively use Devour on lane creeps to fuck with the equilibrium. You eventually do want to get a neutral creep. And what better creep to get than this Hill Troll Priest? You'll see my itemization here. Boots. Jakiro also has Boots first item because he's smart, because he's laning against a Jugg and he doesn't want to get run down. So we both have Boots. So Jugg comes over there to harass a creep wave instead of prioritizing his creeps under his tower. So he's... We'll rewind this and play this at full speed just to see why this is a good play. Right, so what did I do? Our creep wave is bigger than theirs, and what I want to do here is I want to deny these creeps, drag these creeps over while Jugg is dealing with this shit, and just kind of harass this a little bit. So I come in here, I smack her with an Infernal Blade. This was probably unnecessary, but then I pop Scorched Earth, and I'm trying to kill essentially this entire like wave of creeps here. Jugg comes in, but again, because we both have Boots, we don't have to worry about Blade Fury killing us. And then I get to snag the Hill Troll Priest and drag these 3 melee creeps over here while Jugg has to go back to his wave under his tower, and I can salve up and be full HP. And why this is good is twofold. Again, Jugg missed some creeps under tower there, which is nice. And then I also get to get my creep, my Hill Troll Priest, and bring these creeps over here, securing some equilibrium that's not going to be strictly at their tower. The Hill Troll Priest, by the way, is insane. It gives you an insane amount of mana regen, basically 2 stacking Ring of Basiliuses, or Basilii or whatever, is what the mana value is worth. It's 2.5. It gives that in an aura of 1200 radius, so the Jakiro gets to take advantage of that as well. And it gives you a sick heal that you're gonna use several times. But either way, we're gonna get this kill, and I need to explain this real quick. So Jugg's an interesting lane against Doom. You never really have kill threat against him until level 6, unless he does some dumb shit like this. So you'll see my skill build kind of reflects my intention on playing passive in this lane, which is getting a second point in Devour at level 4. I want to get more gold. I want to hit my item times quicker. I don't want to necessarily try to kill the Jugg in lane because I know that I can't, or at least I think that I can't. And then Jugg just overextends with this Blade Fury. Like, what is this nonsense? This was all prompted, by the way, because I just right-clicked him once with Infernal Blade. I'm just like, you know, I got this extra man. I got this Ultra Pro, so I'm just going to right-click him once. And I hit him twice. One of them was an Infernal Blade, and he feels prompted to just, like, run me down with the Blade Fury for some reason. At which point, again, Jakiro just walks up, smacks him with the Dual Breath. His Blade Fury's on cooldown, and we just right-click his ass down. And I would just consider this an incredible mistake, an oversight, rather, by Jugg's by Jugg, basically. Like, he decided to play incredibly aggressively for no reason. He didn't see Jakiro on the map. He overextended with his Blade Fury, and we get a kill that we didn't really deserve. So, excuse me, sorry. I got a kill that I really shouldn't have, and this is especially bad because when you consider the fact that Jugg is, like, pretty good against Doom in lane, really, really bad against you later on in the game when you can just Doom him in every single team fight, and it ends up being a really good outcome, because when you Doom him, you can prevent him from Omni Slashing, you can prevent him from Blade Furying, you can Doom him around the map when he wants to push and farm and overextend and then Blade Fury TP. You can Doom him and that'll cancel his TP, that'll stop him from essentially being able to escape, and kill him there. Like, this is Jugg's timing to be strong, and he's completely squandering it by overextending and playing poorly in lane. So here he's going to Blade Fury. All I got to do is pop Scorched Earth and just run with Phase Boots, run into a Snapfire that hits me with their full duration Scatter Blast, which is unfortunate. I got to back off, and then I'm just kind of letting Devour heal me up here. Jakiro's going a little bit too hard here under tower, so all I do is I go over, snag the Healing Ward. I think maybe I could have killed Snapfire, but it would have put me in a really awkward position against the Juggernaut there. I think I would have fed him a double kill, which would not have been worth. So instead, we just kind of chill out. We just let him die. We grab this creep wave. Jakiro's not too mad about it, and this will give us an opportunity as well to use our Hill Troll Priest's second ability, which is the heal. And this ability is bonkers. Like, use this ability. It's not that hard. It's got a 0.5 second cooldown, and it heals you for 15 health. So while I'm farming this, I'm going to kind of like drag this around and then heal myself. I think you'll see me do that here. Yeah, once I de-aggro the creep wave, I'm just going to, like, in between last hits here, as I'm not doing it. Rip. Feels bad, man. What am I doing? Come on, Wired. Oh, yeah, he gives me a tango. And then eat the tango, heal. Could get a D9 there. Either way, getting a last hit, heal myself. It's a pretty sick ability. It's kind of memey. It's like... It's kind of funny to see you doing this, but it's totally value. Like, this is 15 health for 5 mana that I'm going to be gaining a lot of mana, or in a lane where I'm going to be gaining a lot of mana anyways, because of the other passive that the Hill Troll Priest gives you, which is a lot of mana. It's just totally fine to do this. And here we're seeing, I heard the Jugg Omni Slashing on my Jakiro, right? I'm farming, I'm static farming here. But I do hear the Jugg Omni Slashing on my Jakiro, so I look over. Lo and behold, he commits not only Omni Slash, but a Blade Fury afterwards to get this kill. And I'm just thinking to myself, dude, this is the freest kill I've ever seen in my entire life. So let's walk over here. I'm trying to hit a Doom. For whatever reason, I'm letting this tree cuck me. So I cut it down, hit him with the Doom, pop my drum charge, and we just run his ass down. He's going to go for a bit of a juke attempt here, but it's not going to work. And now, here's really important, right? I know I have more than enough damage to just walk him down with Doom and Scorched Earth. What's most important here is making sure that Snapfire can't deny this guy, because I know he's still in the area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save my last hit for when the Jugg is, like, within last hit range, and that's when I'll cast my last hit to make sure Snapfire can't deny me. And that's just a free kill on the Jugg. And so far, Jugg's died to me twice in lane, Snapfire's died once. I've got the quickest drum of my life, and I'm sitting really high and mighty. Jugg's dead for 10 seconds, so this is all completely free farm. And I don't know why I'm letting this Snapfire just smack me. I'm like, dude, I'm 3 levels up on you, dude. Get the heck up out of here. And we're just going to go back to last hitting. This is a totally fantastic lane so far. I'd say I am more than happy with the results. Jakiro's played amazingly. Or exceptionally, we'll say. I get my 3rd point in Devour because, again, I'm thinking to myself, like, this guy can't just keep letting me kill him. My Doom's on cooldown. I'm thinking, like, Devour, it has to be the skill build here. There's no way he's just going to completely throw his life away. So we back off, we salve up, cast the Hill Troll Priest's heal on me again. Just keep spamming it in between last hits. Could have got that deny there. Instead decided to posture. Get the Scorched Earth last hit there, that felt good. Get a little bit of Mimi heals here. I feel like I could have used my heal a little bit more appropriately in this lane, but that's totally fine. And we're just chilling here, right? We're just chilling. And this is kind of an interesting little situation to have happen. Puck walks out. I didn't see the Puck rotate. I think Arc Warden said on comms that Puck was missing, but I didn't really think too much of it. But because of my itemization and because of my skill usage here, I am able to live. And when I say skill usage, what I really just mean is drum charge usage. Is I just drum and phase boots usage. Is I just run around while the coil's on me, try not to break it because the damage is quite massive. I just phase boots drum and I break line of sight and I just TP and I'm totally fine because they have no TP cancels besides Cookie. And in tree lines, it's really hard to use Cookie effectively. Like, Cookie's kind of like a Snapfire's. I'm talking about Snapfire's Cookie, by the way. It's kind of like a pseudo force staff, like a mini force staff that also stuns people. Cookie's on W, sorry. It's like a mini force staff that stuns people. And if you hop in the tree line, like what it does is it takes the unit's direction and pushes them forward based on that. And in the tree line, you can like really abuse directions because like people are running, they're constantly breaking line of sight, and you're constantly breaking the direction that people want to run into. So I just break it for the trees, I beeline to the trees, and I TP instantly there, make it as difficult as possible for them to cancel my TP with the one stun that they have, and I just TP out and I'm totally fine. Jakiro lives there too, so that's this massive space, right? Puck used coil, Puck used coil and TP to my lane and got nothing from it. So Puck has to make the walk of shame back mid, and doesn't have anything for their troubles that they can really say that they earned, right? Like they didn't get a kill, they didn't get nothing. So we're totally fine with what happened. Massive space made for Drow and Dark Warden. So yeah, so we're totally cool with what just happened. This kind of leads me to probably my biggest mistake all laning phase, which is how I'm static farming this wave right here, right? So normally I'm kind of a I guess you could say I'm kind of a lazy player in some respects. Like when I'm static farming a wave, I'm totally fine. I'm totally like content just doing that, and I feel like I don't watch around the map often enough, especially when I have my TP up. And that really shows, or rather that will really start to show right about here, right? So bottom is getting developed right now. Developed into a fight, I should say. I see my Arc Wardens mid. I see it on the map. I'm always looking at the minimap, but I'm not clicking around actually like looking at other heroes in between getting last hits, which is what I should be doing, because well, honestly, it's just super easy to do, and it can give you you can gather a lot of information that can inform you as to like when you should be using your teleportation score, right? It's super easy, especially in this case, because Arc Warden is just static farming mid as well. It's going to be super easy for me to just like do what I'm telling you guys that I should be doing, because all I need to be doing is just looking bottom. There's no other lane that's like necessitating my attention. It's literally just bottom, because bottom's getting gone on here, right? Instead, I'll show you my player perspective. I'm just sitting here looking at the creeps that I'm farming, and you can't see this, but I'm looking, like I know that I'm looking at the minimap. I'm not looking at the fight itself, so I'm not able to watch it develop. But if you watch, like this puck is nearly, they're not under our tower. They will be under our tower because they're going to dive in with their silence and then phase shift. Like imagine if I was TPing in here right now, right? I'd have a 2.5, I'd actually have I think a 4.5 second TP because Jakiro TP'd in, but I'd be able to join this fight, doom this puck, and run down this dazzle. Instead, I'm focusing on these creeps. Arc Warden even sent in his Tempest double to assist the fight while I'm just sitting here static farming, right? It's a huge mistake that I make, not focusing on the fight enough. The second that I, like, the time that I finally do look bottom, it's too late for me to have done anything, and we end up trading 2 for 1, I think. I think that was 2 for 1, right? Snap. Yeah. So Drow gets the kill on the Venom, but then Snapfire gets 2 kills, and one of the kills was on a core. So that's a good trade by them. That's a good play by them, but it could have been really, really bad if I just TP'd and I didn't. Again, a huge mistake, probably the biggest mistake I make all game, and it probably also is what inspired me to make this very poor play right here, right? So in a vacuum, this might not look super bad, but then as you start to see Jugg make a beeline for the trees, you see where this gets a little coin flippy. And what I mean by this is Jugg's only way out is juking me in the trees right here, getting out of Scorched Earth range. And that's exactly what he does, right? So I think he's going to continue juking in the trees, but instead he just jukes around and gets out of Scorched Earth, and buys himself enough time such that Doom gets off of him. And the kill looks really scared. I don't know why he stops right there. It was really weird for him to stop. I could have chased him, and if he, like, I mean, if I had continued chasing him, maybe he would use his Blade Fury there. But I do force a TP rotation out of the Dazzle, but I was intending to kill him there. I wasted Doom, essentially, to force a TP from the support, and that was just not a good trade at all. So Jugg just heals up to full with his Healing Ward. I'm running like a crazy madman trying to kill the Healing Ward, not comprehending the fact that Dazzle could just be right there waiting to Q me, and then Jugg could have came out and ulted me and maybe I'd be dead, but he didn't because Jugg was trying to go farm the creeps, the neutrals. So I get a little bit of luck. I get a little lucky there. But here I come up and Infernal Blade the Dazzle, and I guess I'm like, I don't know, I think I'm tilting both of these players because we're gonna see here in a second. Jugg makes a crazy play. He just Blade Furies and he just chases my ass with his drums, right? I have drums, he has drums too, and he's just chasing me under this tower. He's not Omni-Slashing. I think he tries to Omni-Slash here. I think I kind of saw him try to Omni-Slash me there, but I break line of sight. Smack the Dazzle. And Jugg's still just running with phase boots and shit. He omni slashes me. I get super low, but Venge has the godliest swaps of all time. I think I'm gonna die, but then Venge swaps and I'm living. Swaps him again just to guarantee that he's not even remotely near me. And then he just dives under a tier 2 after I'm begging for TPs, right? So a lot of things happen there. I think overall that was them making more mistakes than me. But I certainly should not have wasted my Doom up top to have conditioned that to be a bad play to begin with. And Jugg should not have committed to that dive, because even if he got my ass, I still think he would have died. But what's important about that play was that I was communicating the entire time to my team on comms, like, hey guys, I'm getting really, really, really hardcore dove here. Can somebody TP? Can somebody come kill this Jugg, please? He's under my tier 2 towers with no creeps. I wasn't yelling, but I was like saying very loudly on microphone, like, hey guys, please help me out. Please, 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 please. Essentially giving my team information that they could have collected with their eyes, but were probably not doing, similar to how I wasn't doing when I wanted to join my team bottom, when I didn't join my team bottom, right? So I didn't end up dying. Jugg died there, and from here it's just like we're so massively far ahead. We're not really, we're just 1k gold ahead, but like that's such a morale boost for the team, right? Like, or rather such a demoralizing thing to have happen if you're the Jugg player, right? You get so close to killing the Doom, you commit both of your abilities, kind of like I did top. You don't even kill him, you die for your troubles. Like, it's just so terrible. Dazzle didn't die in return, but either way, it was just a good trade overall. And I didn't really talk about this, but the next play that I go for here is I identify as I run back to base. I don't want to use my TP. If you don't know why I don't want to use my TP, watch my last video. But basically, it's because I don't want to waste my TP. No lane is a viable TP spot right now. Jakiro's holding top. Arc Warden's farming mid. Drow's taking care of bottom. I don't need to relieve Jakiro of his farm role up here. Because like he's totally fine holding that tower by himself, and I don't see any reason for me to like go take that farm from him. Like, yeah, I'm a higher position. Like, you could argue like, Wired, you're the 3 position. You should be taking farm from your supports whenever possible. But I'm thinking to myself, nah, like Doom's coming off cooldown. I can go make a play happen. Like, Jakiro doesn't mind getting a little bit of farm. And so I sit right here. Lo and behold, they actually had, and this is an interesting ward by them, but they actually had this area warded. Sorry. They did have it warded. They had it warded. I guess this ward actually just expired. Yeah, this ward was about to expire, I imagine. It's not showing the duration on it, which is weird. Does it expire here? When does it expire? It doesn't expire at all. So this is a bug. What the heck? So the replay bug there. But no, this isn't a bug. It was just showing our vision earlier. But lo and behold, they had this area warded, so they knew that I was coming. But I think the thought process behind this play is still solid. Like, I was going to make a play. I have Doom off cooldown. I'm not committing my TP to any lane because no lane looks specifically great. What would have been super great about this play is if I had bought a smoke and smoked out of base, I think. That would have made this play super solid. Because I didn't have it. Then, in that case, I wouldn't have had any risk of walking over a ward on my way to the location that I wanted to go Doom. But either way, I completely break my principle here. I TP top after I go to make a fail play, because I'm just thinking at this point, okay, I'm like, okay, the play failed, so I'm just gonna go farm. Put my TP on cooldown. I think the enemy team identifies this when I show top. They're like, okay, Doom was bottom originally, and then he seemingly teleported top. Like, he just poofed top. Like, there's no other explanation. He had to have used his TP. And they're going to start grouping up to commit a play on mid, right? So Puck's sitting there farming the jungle, Jugg's farming their jungle as well, Dazzle's moving in, and they're looking to make a play here mid, right? So Puck walks in, commits the coil. I don't have TP now, right? Jakiro's about to TP, I think, in front of my face, and make me real sad, because I'm like, man, I'm watching the fight, and I'm like, I don't have a TP, this is awkward, should I run, should I not run? Arc Warden just died, but they're still going, they won our tier 1, Drow showed up, Jakiro showed up, Ven showed up. We obviously want to fight this tower. I'm thinking to myself, ah, man, do I run? Do I not run? Do I just take the safe lane tower? I Scorched Earth on my way there. I'm like, dude, at this point, I'm just going to Scorched Earth, phase boots, and just run my ass there. The fight's already over. This is like basically big mistake number 2 of the game that I made, which was just using my TP down here bottom when I didn't need to. I could have just farmed the jungle and slowly made my way back up top. Instead, I TP'd my ass there when Jakiro was still there. Jakiro was just getting the rune. He had no problem just walking back into the lane and taking the creeps. And I ended up just completely throwing another fight that I could have had presence in, right? Another fight that in this instance I was watching, but just did not have my TP off cooldown for because I had wasted it going top. Against my better judgment that I told you guys in videos before, you shouldn't just waste your TP. I actually did waste my TP. Here I'm going for a really, really cheeky play. am basically trying to abuse my Quelling Blade to just walk through this and get a super sick Doom on somebody that shows. I cut this tree, which makes it super obvious that I'm making this play because they can see me cut this tree, but I'm just kind of hoping they don't notice. What I should have done instead was just cut this tree and sit right here. I didn't know if this would give them vision though. I should test this in a custom game. I cut this tree and then I was going to cut this tree and then sit right behind here, but I didn't know if there was going to be any vision, but I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have cut this tree and stood right here. Either way, this is a pretty common ward spot for Radiant around this time anyways, if your tower's still up, because it helps you see rotations that are happening around this way. Basically, you want to see, if you're able to hold your tier 1s, one of the reasons that you can, first of all, if you're able to hold your tier 1, especially your tier 1 mid, you should. And one of the ways you can continue, like you can hold these towers is by warding these high ground areas, because they see the wraparound spots for where Radiant would want to engage, or rather go to dive tier 1 mid for Dire, basically. What I'm trying to say is this is a super common ward spot, and this play like would only ever work if they don't have it warded, and I'm kind of amazed that they don't. Do they see me? I'm gonna just check their vision here real quick. Yeah, they don't see me. They don't have any vision over here, but like it's crazy to me that they don't, because like this is such a common like I can't believe, basically what I'm trying to say is I can't believe they have no vision of mid. They're completely blind mid outside of their Puck being here. And so Puck shows and tries to commit. I don't know what this Puck's doing with no vision, just walking mid on Avenge. But I doom this guy. Super, super cocky player with no vision. Can't believe they don't have any vision of mid. We take advantage of that. We go dive. I got my pipe. This guy pops his ulti. Doesn't matter because I have a fucking 16-minute pipe drums. And we're able to take this tower with impunity. They start showing up, but it just does not matter. We have this tower super well set up on. Like Arc Warden's got his bubble and shit. They're missing 2 heroes. They kill our Avenge, but it's still totally fine. Like we have Arc Warden Drow to basically take this tower and commit on it and shit like that. And so we're gonna take this tier 1 mid. And from here, it's kind of just like, what objectives can we take for free all around the map? Because I have a pipe, right? I counter basically 2 to 3 of their heroes, depending on how you want to look at it to some extent, for the next 5 to 10 minutes, basically until they get some levels on their heroes such that their spell damage starts to increase. I'm just going to continuously counter them because I have a pipe this early on. So we're going to try to press that advantage. On top of that, I still have a drum charge. On top of that, Arc Warden has pretty good farm and levels. Drow has pretty good farm. I mean, it's not the greatest, but she's catching back up, I think. Yeah, okay, actually. Drow has pretty poor farm, but I just don't think it matters in this instance. All we need is Drow's levels and her aura. Her level 12 here is going to be amazing for her and Arc Warden to just sit back with a Hurricane Pike, or rather with a Dragon Lance, and just hit towers while I frontline with Pipe. And that's what we're trying to really capitalize on here. So I'm going to get a little bit of farm. Next item I go is... I don't know if I really talked about my itemization that much. So Drum's just a really solid, like, all-around item to get on Doom. Gives you movement speed, gives you a little bit of mana, gives you a high-tempo active that you can use 6 times throughout the course of a game, which gives your team a bunch of attack speed that you can benefit from a little bit, gives your team a bunch of movement speed that you certainly can benefit from a lot, and then gives you, again, like, it gives you solid stats, gives you 6 all stats, gives you even more movement speed, gives you a little bit of mana, which you're not going to mind. Like, you have 5 active abilities, including your creep, maybe 6 if you have... I don't know, a creep that has 2 active abilities. Are there even any creeps that have 2 active abilities that cost mana? I don't know. But either way, you have a lot of active abilities that are going to cost mana, so you don't mind mana. Just gives you really attractive stats, is a very cheap and cost-efficient item. I think Drums is a very solid first purchase as Doom, especially if you don't know what you're trying to build into. And then as I was looking at their team comp, I was thinking, it's going to be a while before I get like an Assault Cuirass or something that buffs my team against Jugg's Omni Slash and shit like that. So what am I going to do in the meantime? I'm going to get a Pipe, right? Because Pipe is strong against Puck, it's strong against Veno, it's strong against Snapfire, it's strong against 3 of their heroes. It really enables my team, so I'm just going to get a Pipe here. And so that's what I do, and we take an amazing fight under our tier 1 where we have so much vision, and we just win the fight. Like, it's simple as that, right? We have Drow and Arc Warden sitting in the back, not getting pressured, kill the Puck. Actually, how did this fight develop exactly? I think they just dove on us when they certainly should not have. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. It's kind of interesting. I think they smoked. I think they're smoking here. Yeah, they smoke up high ground with no vision. Again, so crazy mistakes made by the enemy team. I don't know what their supports are doing, but they just have no vision whatsoever. And they're trying to make plays under our mid tier 1 with no vision. 0 vision whatsoever. They're trying to smoke into us. This is just never, like, this is bound to never work. They go, especially especially, they go on Doom, the tankiest person they could possibly go on, and I have a pipe. Like, there's no chance these guys ever kill me, ever. And they decide to go on me anyways. So it's just super bad. Puck has no ulti here, committed both of her spells that enabled her to go in. We just clean this Puck up. He gets Dazzle Grave, but it just does not matter because Dazzle's dead now. Their Veno's dead. Like, they lose 3, I think 4 heroes here because I think Veno's going to die. Yeah, Veno's going to die. And the only saving grace is that Jugg is free farming, but that's totally worth it. Secures us a 6k gold lead where we previously, I think, only were ahead by 1 to 2k gold, and we're in a very dominating position. We're looking very strong right now that they just made that throw. Again, one of the biggest things that made that a throw was that they just had no vision into where they were smoking. Here's a pro tip for smokes. If you're gonna make a smoke play, having vision makes whatever smoke play you're gonna make like 10 times better. And I'm not talking about vision like towers. Like, yeah, it can be good to smoke to a tower that the enemy team is pushing. But what I'm really talking about is if you're trying to make these gambly smoke plays, like, let's smoke into them and, like, let's see if our 5v5 or our 4v4 is greater than their 4v4, if in the off chance they happen to be grouped. Like, you don't have to make those guesses if you have vision up, right? If you have vision, especially aggressively placed vision, like if your vision is great, smoke into the enemy team. Smoking, like what facilitates what makes a smoke great is when you have vision of the enemy team. And then you can gather your team up real quickly and smoke into the enemy. That's what makes a smoke great. And the enemy broke that rule of, like, you know, they didn't have any vision of us. They were just flipping the coin, hoping that when they smoke into us, we just happen to be separated enough for them to make something happen. It felt like basically they were super desperate, and that's why they made that play. And of course it didn't work out because they didn't have any vision. They were taking like a 20% odd basically chance at us not, like none of us were showing on the map. There's a pretty good chance that we were at least somewhat grouped near the areas where they didn't have vision. And, you know, it just worked out. So here I'm going to get gone on again by Puck. I don't know how many times Puck has to go on me for her to learn, or for them to learn that they just can't. So I just come in here, I doom the Puck. Puck's doomed, so it doesn't even matter necessarily that I can't finish the Puck off because Puck is going to be irrelevant. They don't even have their ulti. And we just get a sick-ass Ice Path on 2 heroes. Clean both the Snapfire and the Dazzle up. Again, Puck is doomed, but Puck also committed their ulti, so even despite the fact that, like, Puck, you know, couldn't contribute to that fight, there's a pretty good chance that they're going to be useless for the next 60 or so seconds while they're waiting for their, I guess, 30 seconds. Puck ulti has a short cooldown. Which means, even though I don't have Doom, we can just walk into this Roche, right? Kind of. I'm trying to remember if we take this. I think we do take this. I'm like, yeah. I'm pretty sure we take this right here. Yeah. We take this Roche on. Arc Warden's a really good Roche taker. So is Drow. We just have like a really solid team, right? We got the Vengor, we got the Drower, we got the Arc Warden, we got the Arc Warden's W to help us take Orc. Like, that's just a solid ass Roche that we can take because 2 supports were dead and respawning, and they were missing an ult on Puck, and I guess Veno was missing an ulti too. And so we take Roche, and from here it's just like, you know, we're 10k ahead at 21 minutes. I can play as aggressively as I want. I didn't see, like, my team wasn't behind me, so I was like, okay, wait, I gotta be a little bit careful because if my team's not with me, I could just die. But we're just so far ahead at this point. It's just, it's crazy to think of a world in which we're gonna lose. So all we need to do at this point is get like 1 or 2 items, maybe. Not even 1 or 2 items. Arc Warden has his items. Drow just needs to, like, finish up her Hurricane Pike, and we're solid this game. Because what we need to do is just convert our net worth into the items that our net worth would translate to, which basically means, like, we have 10k net worth. Let's use that net worth. You know, like, let's complete this Hurricane Pike on Drow. Arc Warden pretty much has his items. Right, like, all this hero really needs is, like, the items that he has, honestly. Like, with a Mjolnir and bots, like, and I guess Midas for the attack speed, like, he's going to be effective in a fight. Mostly it's the levels on this hero that make him really strong right now because he's going to be doing a lot of spell damage. He's going to be casting a lot of spells. We can just take any tower we want. We can go siege any tower we want, especially now that Doom's up, and I have my Blink Dagger, I have my drums, I have my pipe. Like, we're just so strong. We can hold any tower hostage, and they can't really do anything about it. And that's exactly what we're going to do this game. So we just run down their bottom tower. We're running down their bottom tier 2. They're not responding. They're pushing our tier 1s in response to that. Drow's standing there, getting dove on. I'm not entirely sure why Drow decides not to push with us. Jakiro had the right idea here. Jakiro was like, let's just force their TPs back and take their high ground. But instead we TP back and try to clear up our lanes. And then Puck, I don't know what Puck was doing here. I TP to tier 2 because I'm like, I may as well back off here. And then I still see Puck. So I try to throw my Doom off, but of course Puck can just phase shift. Qs. And then, does Puck have TP here? Puck has TP, but didn't TP for some reason. So I'm still going to chase her down. I'm going to wait basically until Puck TPs. And Puck just never TPs here. So we just kill Puck for 47 seconds. Puck's dead. I think they used their ulti right then and there. No, they used their ulti on the draw top. So, but either way, like Puck's dead for 35 seconds. Don't know what the Puck was doing there, by the way. Again, felt like Puck could have just TP'd at any point in time as I was chasing them and would have been fine. Like any time that I was chasing, when they used their jaunt, like they were safe for a good 2 seconds to where they could TP, I'm pretty sure, but they just chose not to. And so we just kill Puck for free. We're sending their heroes back into their base. Like Puck is one of the ways that they were going to split push waves and try to delay or stall out our Aegis. But now that Puck's dead, we can just take top for free. We're setting up mid wave by pushing it out and shit like that. We're just like basically creating the condition that we need to be able to take their tier 3s effectively. Because we have the net worth for it. We just need the creep wave and we need like our team to be grouped and ready to take them. So here Orc Warden sends his double bottom to get that wave pushed out so Jugg can't do any cheeky things to that tower. And here we're just going to take this tower. Next item I didn't mention this, but the next item I was planning on going was the Solar Crest because I have 2 amazing backliners, and I'm super tanky as shit as a frontliner. So all I feel like I need to do this game is just buff up either Drow or Orc Warden, and they'll just do all the damage that my team needs them to do. Like all I'm basically here to do is facilitate and enable my team to play well, and I do that by buying items like Drum for the early to mid game, buying items like Pipe for the mid game to nullify 3 of their heroes' damage, and buying items like Solar Crest for the mid to late game to buff up my team, namely again Drow and Arc Warden, to be able to do the damage that they need and to be able to get the tankiness, the survivability that they need, right? Because if Jugg ever does get on top of them, he's going to Omni Slash and do a crap load of damage. So maybe with a Solar Crest, which gives them like 10 plus armor, he won't be able to actually kill them, right? I don't think Solar Crest gives evasion anymore though, right? Yeah, it just gives armor, movement speed, and attack speed. But honestly, again, like those stats are enough, right? Like 8 plus armor on a Drow that's getting hit by Omni Slash, like maybe that 8 plus armor is the difference between life or death. Between her being able to get her Hurricane Pike off on Jugg the second Omni Slash ends, so that she can turn that fight or not. So we're just sitting here sieging tier 3s. Jugg has nothing to do because like their team can't really reasonably engage us. Like how do they engage us, right? Like we have Aegis. Look at our positioning. We're so far back. We're just hitting their tier 3s. Like they're never going to be able to push into our team. The best they can do is go for these cheeky plays where they take another tier 1. But like the damage is done this game, right? Like we're super stacked on their tower. If we just TP back in unison and do the same thing to their mid tier 1 or tier 3, we're golden, right? We don't need to do anything risky. Don't need to do anything crazy, like saying to ourselves, hey, let's just push into their tier 3 with no creep wave, right? We're not going to do something crazy like that and then get hit for 200 damage a second by towers. We're just going to go back. We're going to kill the Jugg here for free because he's certainly overextended. And even if he didn't, even if Jugg didn't overextend, even if he TP'd back to base and survived, we still would have just ran down his tier 3 all the same because they wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. And that's basically all Shay wrote for this game. So I'm going to finish up my Solar Crest. I should be getting TPs on the way, and I think I do have a TP on the way. Yeah, I do have TPs on the way. We're setting up their tier 3 mid like we did their tier 3 and their top lane. Get a free little pick on the Dazzle there, and this is just all she wrote, right? Like the game's pretty much over at this point. Solar Crest my Arc Warden and shit, my Drow and shit. Still have Aegis. They're just shotgunning the towers. Easy game. Arc Warden bubble OP. And yeah. That's all she wrote. So, anyways, guys, I guess I'll let it play out, but that's the game. That's my Doom Offlane replay analysis for you. Jakiro played really well. Shout out to this Jakiro. But yeah, it's my Doom Offlane replay analysis for you, and I hope you guys learned something. And GG's, guys. I hope to do another one like this tomorrow. By the way, my stream, twitch.tv/wireguitars is where, twitch.tv/wireguitar with no S is where I play all these games. It's where I played the majority of my games today. We climbed up to, I think, 5380, so 5200. We are no longer, we're almost 5400, so hopefully immortal soon. I'm Divine 4 right now. And yeah, guys, catch you later, either on stream or maybe just in the YouTube videos, or YouTube comment section. So peace out. GG's.